All right, joining me now. Thrilled to have a NFL booth that is getting a lot of good publicity, which is rare these days. From CBS, SI Media Podcast veteran Ian Eagle, and I've interviewed the other guy a few times over the years, J.J. Watt. Gentlemen, thanks for doing this. How are you?
Great.
Doing
Thanks for
well.
having us.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jimmy.
I watched most of the Jacksonville Indy game. You guys are very good together, I must say. I enjoy. There's a lot of food and pop culture references, mozzarella sticks and all that stuff. And I could do a whole podcast, I think, just about food with you guys, not just because I'm a fat mess, but Ian's got his quirks. JJ loves food, but I'll try, we'll do broadcasting stuff and maybe we'll get into some food things at the end. So let me just start with this with JJ. Going from studio to the booth, did you want to do that? Did CBS come to you with that? Was it a no-brainer to do that? Tell me how we got here with you in the booth with Ian for CBS.
No, it honestly came about very organically after last season. It hadn't really been brought up before. I had said my whole career, and when people would ask me, "Are you going to get into TV afterwards?" I always said no. I didn't think it would appeal to me. I really didn't. And then I got into it and did the studio. I loved the guys in the studio and had a blast. When the opportunity was presented to me to work with Ian, I was like, "This is." Absolutely, I would love that. And to get back in the stadiums with the atmosphere, with the adrenaline. And I love it so much more than I thought I was going to. Not only because of the everything I talked about, being in the stadium, being able to talk football on a deeper level and having more time to really percolate on those thoughts, but the team that we've got between Ian and Evan and everybody in the back, it's second to none. So I'm very, very grateful.
Ian, what has surprised you about JJ as an analyst in year one?
First of all, I looked at my contract prior to this, and it does stipulate that I have to hang out with JJ on the weekends. It did not say anything about weekdays. So this is
just shows you how special. So it shows you how special I am.
Yeah, exactly. I think the part that I had a sense of, but I realized from very early on, JJ is naturally inquisitive and he's very thorough. So if he was going to do this, he was going to do it all the way. When we did the Netflix game last year in Pittsburgh, he asked me ahead of time, okay, so, give me one thing. What's the difference in what I've been doing in the studio and what I'm going to be doing today? And I said, simply put, you've been doing TV and today you're going to do football. And that's basically what it comes down to. That's not to say that you don't cover football in the studio, but for the most part, you're doing TV. They're telling JJ, hey, we need 11 seconds before the break on the Kansas City situation, go. And that's it. And then you're done. And then you may not get another touch for a segment or two. And in the game, every play is a factor in the 3-hour broadcast. So he just asked a lot of questions and a lot of really good questions and not just perfunctory ones, next level questions. And I think what I've learned about him is whatever he does, he goes all out. He commits himself to that role in life, not just in the broadcast world. And to me, that's why he has set himself apart so quickly.
Now, JJ, what has surprised you about working with Ian, who's done this now for like 1,000 years and is one of the best in the business?
Well, I mean, one of the first things, that's a bold statement, but one of the first things is he is so up to date on pop culture and everything that's happening in the world. It's incredible. Like the ability to do jokes and things that are happening today is awesome, despite his travel schedule and doing all the different games he's doing from NBA to ours to college basketball. But then it's also his ability to shape a broadcast and our team in the way and keep the focus where the focus should be. I think there's so many different ways you can go with a game, and there's so many different angles you can take to start a game from the open to then throughout the entire game, how you're going to tell that story. And I think Ian is unbelievable at making sure we're always keeping the main thing, and we never stray too far away from what's really important. And that's been really cool for me to watch. And every week it's a reminder to me when we sit in that production meeting on Saturday night and he lays out for us his vision of what the game looks like, what the stakes are. I love listening to that every week, and then going through the game, the communication during commercial breaks and everything, I think is top notch.
Yeah.
I'm curious because what I've enjoyed about you guys is that you guys have seen, and it's interesting because you're in year one and you've managed to do this. You guys seem to have the perfect blend of doing the football stuff and keeping it light and
Yeah.
mixing in some humor. Now, is it a conscious thing that you have to do that, or is it just your personalities? Because there are other crews where there's no personality, there's no fun.
Yep.
It's X's and O's, and and they'll hit you. And it's not even just like analytic stuff. It's just there's some crews where there's very little lightheartedness.
Yep.
Is that a goal of yours, or it's just those are your personalities, and that's what it comes across as on the air?
I would say a combination. I do think your personalities play a huge role, and who you are eventually reveals itself on the air. But the second part is just philosophy. These games are important, and we understand that. Anybody that works in this industry realizes that people are on the edge of their seat. But with that comes a bit of fun and levity. And just like it would be if you were sitting at home watching on the couch, you wouldn't be locked in at a level in which you would not allow a bit of humor in life to seep through. And I think what I realized very early with JJ is his personality off the air is his personality on the air. And the fact of the matter is, he's highly accomplished. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And yet he does not take himself that seriously that you can't joke around, you can't bust chops. He's self-deprecating. And I think, at least from my perspective, that's relatable. People want to feel as if they can connect with broadcasters on a human level, if that makes sense in the moment. Now, if you push it too much and you're doing comedy hour at the Chuckle Hut, that's a problem. But you have to know where the line is. And I think instincts come into play. JJ has fantastic instincts. And I realized day one that what we had off the air could actually be a reality on the air. But what often happens is, I'm not sure there's an understanding from usually the analyst that it's allowed, that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to joke around if it makes sense in the moment. But to me, it's been very authentic and natural. And oh, by the way, the best part for me, we don't talk about any of it beforehand. It's not like we work out bits and then we
Right.
decide, hey, second quarter, this might be.
Right.
None of it is ever discussed. It truly is coming from an organic place.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew JJ I think it was week one, JJ busted out his snip, snap
Yeah.
from The Office. And I was like, okay, this is what we need. Like,
Yes.
this is
I mean,
good.
I think a big thing is like Ian said, is people watching on the couch at home. Like, we're both sports fans. We love
Right.
sports. So even when we're off air, we're talking about sports, and we've watched thousands and thousands of games in our lives, and we know what it feels like to watch. So we're just trying to give you the information and knowledge and experience we have, but also that feeling of watching on the couch with your buddies. Like,
Yeah.
it's that combination that I think is really the secret sauce, and it is trying to find that right balance.
Yep, 100%. Now, like I said, you've been a smash hit here in year one in the booth. What has been the hardest thing though for you? Is there been anything that's been difficult? Anything you've had to learn in doing the games this year?
I mean, number one is leaving my family every week is hands down the hardest part. Saying goodbye to my wife and two boys is always tough. But from in the booth standpoint, I think it's just the way it laid out, and it's nobody's fault. But having so many Steelers and Texans game in my first year, with everybody wanting to look at that and say, oh, he's going to be biased, he's going to have these pre-notions, and with his brother or with his former team. I think that we've handled it as good as you could handle it, but I think that did present the biggest challenge by far, just being very conscious of it and making sure that we were doing things the right way, that
Yeah.
way.
I see, and that's an interesting one because I sort of look at it like, okay, we know your brother is TJ Watt. You're allowed to be biased if you want. Like it's your freaking brother. Like, so
But if you
if
want to be
that
taken seriously as a commentator, and if you want to be taken seriously in this business for the long term,
right.
sure, short term, could it be cool to hear somebody's brother calling their game in some big
Yep.
moments? Yes. And we had the
Yeah.
moment where he passed my sack record. I think we handled that really well, and that was cool. But I take this role very serious, and I want to be
Yeah.
very good at this, not just for 1 year, but for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I want all fan bases to be able to look at it and say, yeah, he's just going to call the game the way he sees it, regardless.
Yeah, I'm talking more like, listen, if you got on the air and were like, oh my God, I can't believe the Steelers lost this game. I'm going to throw up. I'm sick to my stomach. Yeah, that would be over the top. But like, if you saw like your brother getting held on a play and you were like, yes, he's my brother, but there was a pull of the jersey there. I think people would excuse the brotherly love coming through. That's
Yeah, I
sort of
think there's definitely moments I've gone the opposite way. I think there's moments which Ian has been awesome at. I definitely have to say that. So, like
yeah.
TJ, we had the Colts Steelers game. TJ makes a massive strip sack to change the entire momentum of the game. Ian takes that call, does it justice the way that he does at an incredible level. I get to lay out for 5, 6, 7 seconds and let it breathe, and then come in with the analysis of the
Yep.
play. So he handles the excitement of it, and I get to come in on the backside and analyze it, which I'm very thankful because he understands what situation I'm in.
If you're like me, you have the same holiday pattern. Tell yourself you'll pick out a thoughtful gift, panic at the last minute, and then, of course, buy a gift card. This year, I skipped the panic and gave an Aura Frame. Aura Frames are smart, Wi Fi connected digital picture frames that let you easily share and display photos and videos from your phone to a high quality screen featuring automatic brightness adjustment, unlimited storage, and private sharing with family via a user friendly app, making them ideal for gifting and staying connected with loved ones. I never know what to get my mom, but you can always count on photos of her grandchildren. Now you do it with an Aura frame, and it's perfect. Can't stress it enough. Grandparents, the Aura frame is a perfect gift, loaded up with photos and videos from their grandkids, and then everyone is happy. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code SI Media at checkout. That's auraframes.com. Promo code SI Media. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. All right, as I said, you've done this now for approximately 1,000 years,
Yes.
give or take. So that means you've worked with like 2,000 partners probably over the years.
Yeah, it's a
Is it
fair number.
when you work with a new partner in any sport, as we know, Ian does everything, do they all sort of, does it take each one a different amount of time to either mesh with you or give the performance you guys want to give together? Or is it usually like they come in, they know what they're doing, it doesn't take that much time? Because like you guys hit it off right away. How does that jive with what's happened throughout your career with new partners?
It varies, no doubt about it. It's personality based, it's comfort level. I think the thing that struck me with JJ right away, the major hurdle that some new announcers will have is often the on-camera portion, and either being nervous before it or wanting to know exactly what I'm going to say to lead them in. And that just has not been an issue. From the moment we began, JJ was incredibly comfortable in the stand-up portions of what we're doing. And to me, that, while it's important, don't get me wrong, it's how you start the show and it's the first part of your presentation, it pales in comparison to the importance of the actual game, where a lot of your focus should be. So you have to do 2.5 minutes of television up top. And often that is what is overwhelming for analysts to think, okay, so what's going to happen? You're going to lead to me, and then I'm going to go to tape, and then we're going to come back. And none of that was ever an issue for JJ. So his focus was on the game and on what was important, the stake. not necessarily the appetizer. For different analysts, I've seen just challenges in transitions and when they're supposed to talk, when should you talk. I've had to do hand signals with certain analysts or tap them on the shoulder to let them know it's okay. That just
Oh,
hasn't
man,
been
if
in the
I ever get
equation
a
yet.
shoulder tap,
Yeah,
just send
Oh,
me to the gulag. I'm out.
it's not going to work out.
I was going to
It's
say
funny.
I would be terrified to give JJ the shoulder tap.
If
It's
I
funny.
got a shoulder
Yeah.
tap over
JJ is
Freed's
not,
head, I'd be
he's not going to
gone.
be into it. I get that.
Have you ever
Dan
worked with an
Fouts,
analyst? Go ahead.
who I worked with forever, did not want to be touched. He made it very clear, did not want to be touched. And then he worked with a different play-by-play announcer, and he came to me. He's like, "He's a toucher. He's a toucher." I said, I'm sorry. We're not all the same, dude.
Right.
So it does
Uh,
change from situation to situation.
Did-
JJ, I won't touch you. Don't worry.
Have you ever worked with an analyst where, like, in the first week, you're just like, this guy sucks. It's not going to work.
Yes.
2025. 2025 is a good year.
I should have.
Yes. But it
All
got
right.
better. I've realized that some were nervous or some didn't really have a handle on what the end game was. They were just in their lane. They weren't thinking about the big picture. That's the other thing I must say about JJ. He made it his business to know everybody's name, what they do on the crew, the big picture. I think also something that was incredibly valuable last year, he sat in the truck before he did the Netflix game. He got to see the whole operation, and I think he walked out of there thinking like this is like NASA because of everything that was going on, but had a real appreciation for what everybody does. That goes a long way too.
One thing I appreciate you about JJ, and this is, I mean, this was going on before you did the games even. You have opinions and you're not shy about sharing those opinions. And you have a lot of credibility given your place in NFL history. I'm curious because you've weighed in on the refs, you've weighed in on roughing the passer, stuff that really has to do with hardcore football inside the game. Has the league ever come to you like for advice to pick your brain? How can we make this better?
I wish. No.
That's crazy to me that they wouldn't. I mean, you would
No,
think they'd
I've been
use you
waiting
as
for
an
them to
asset.
tell. What an interesting thing of this is I've been wondering, I'm like everybody else. I always wonder, like, do they tell the analysts what they can and can't say? Do they get mad at analysts if they talk about the refs? So I've been waiting for the tap on my shoulder to say, hey, you're a little hard on the refs here, pal. But no, I have not gotten that in any capacity, which I'm thankful for. And I've texted Gene Steratore last week because we had the Colts Texans game, and there were some tough ref calls in that game. And it's very difficult for those rules analysts to criticize the refs because they've been there. They know what it's like. They know how hard that job is, and they don't want to criticize their own brethren. I texted Gene after our game and said, thank you for being so honest during our broadcast. I know it's not easy to criticize them because it gives us credibility. Because as we go on the air and we talk to the fans, they know we're giving them the honest truth, not necessarily what somebody else wants or what the league would hope we'd say. So I think that's such a big thing. And I'm very grateful for our broadcast that we try very hard to shoot them straight, even if it's not what the league may want.
I was happy when you came out recently and said you don't think full-time refs are the answer because my stance has always been if a ref is doing something in March to learn his craft or whatever, what does that have to do with him making a call in the fourth quarter of a 2020 game in front of 60,000 people when it's 4 degrees outside? Like, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand what that argument from people. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just don't know what they would do with all that. That's a lot of time.
Right. I should have mentioned at the top, terrible hosting by me. I should have mentioned at the top, you guys have Pat's Bills this week.
Yep.
You can make the argument you guys have the best game of the week. The funny thing is here in New York, while you guys are calling Pat's Bills, everyone he'll be subjected to Giants, Commanders, and Jets, Jaguars, which I find comical. But JJ, because I know Ian probably does this because I think the veterans do this. Do you get into the schedule and see where you're going to be and what matchups you have?
That's the first thing I did when I got on board with this crew. We do before the season starts, we all put in our guesses for the entire year, which is obviously impossible. You have no idea who's going to be good or not. So we did that. I'm not doing good in those standings. But then, yeah, Dan Weinberg, our director of programming, I am texting him way more than he wants me to text him by a lot, because every week I'm watching the games. I'm like, all right, so what are you thinking here? Where do you think we might be week 16? Why is it this? And he's been really good, honestly, about teaching me. I'm learning the X's and O's of the broadcasting side on the market shares and all that.
I was just going to say, text me. I'll tell you where you're going. I know where you're going.
All right, week 16. Who you got?
I got okay. Let me look at my.
Go ahead.
phone.
Week 16. You tell me.
Week 16. All right, you put me. All right, I'm going to look this up. While I look this up, I want Ian to tell me the craziest food thing you've seen from JJ so far. Like JJ said, he had 7 plates on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So tell me I wonder if you've seen something that you've been sort of blown away or impressed by from JJ.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to give away trade secrets, and I think it's fairly public. JJ gets hangry, so that's out there. If he has not eaten, there is a clear shift in his personality. JJ is one of the nicest guys that I've dealt with, but there is some line on the clock that if he crosses it, things change and his demeanor changes. And we had one particular situation in New England this year where I don't want to just speculate, but I believe our waiter had participated in some recreational drug use prior to our meal.
Okay.
And the meal, it just was not happening. And we had a large table, and JJ had not eaten that day, and he was to my left, and it was building. And he was chirping in my ear and literally saying, like, what is going on right now? Are we going to ever get this food? And we had our boss at the table, and eventually the meal came. And again,
it was like 2 hours, man. It was like 2 hours.
Was no food delivered to the table at all? Or you had like apps and you were waiting for the main course? Like, what happened?
They sprinkled the infield a little bit, but not a lot. And to the point where I had to get a broccoli dish as an appetizer. And at some point, JJ literally says, like, dude, I'm going to have to eat the broccolini. I'm like, do what you got to do. And then 2 meals came. He ordered 2 dinners. So it was a full burger, I believe, and then a steak as well.
What a memory. Have you ever shared your halftime ritual, or is that trade secret?
No, you could share. I think Nance has the same exact one, which is odd, but I do.
No way.
I do eat. I think he has the same one. Yeah.
Half a hot dog?
Yeah. I take a hot dog, I split it in half, I chuck half into the garbage, and I eat half a hot dog.
Why? Why not a full hot dog?
I don't know. I think there's some form of guilt involved. I think my wife also may be involved when I can say I did not have a full hot dog. I could just honestly say, but yeah, no, I have.
We could do a full show.
I was going to say
do a full podcast on booth food.
I want to do that. I was going to say I would be willing to bet every penny that I have that JJ Watt has never once had half a hot dog.
Yeah, 100%.
No, absolutely not. Unless it was number 12 and a half.
It is kind of psychotic behavior, Ian. Just so
no, I'm a sicko.
It's awesome. I love watching it because if there's a weird situation where the dogs and the buns are separated and he's got to build it, or if there's somehow it's not there, I love it.
No.
Man.
JJ, what about Chicago? So they had the hot dogs lined up, so they're pre-made, and I open the wrapping, and it's done Chicago style, and I can't eat it. But,
there was Chicago style dogs in the booth?
Yeah, you didn't even hear about it. And I could not eat the hot dog.
God,
that's a terrible job by Ian, because how do you not tell JJ, hey, do you see what's in the booth?
It's okay. I had Portillo's on the way home. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, he was fine.
Yeah.
We separated halftime. Just
we don't
to create a little space.
Oh, okay.
So we go to I black out often.
We can't stand each other. We don't speak off camera.
Is that when you go on the burner Twitter account, Ian?
Yes. That's when I catch up on all my burner Twitter.
Does JJ know Ian's secret Twitter burner account username?
No.
I know it. I don't have the username. No, I do not have the username. But I know he's up on everything because I could tell him. I could talk about a tweet I just saw. He's like, "Yeah, just saw that."
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, yeah, you're on top of it.
I tweeted yesterday, after you had that great call, ETN to the end zone.
ETN
And
to
someone,
the ETN zone,
yeah, someone wrote back and said, that was great. You should really have Ian on your podcast sometimes. Dude, he's been on like 10 times. What are we doing here? It gets me infuriated. Why do I check
I'm
that
like
out?
I'm like Charles Grodin to your David Letterman.
Yes.
I've been on a lot.
Yes. And everyone always loves it. You've been on a lot, and people always like get Ian on. So here we go.
Where are we going to be in week 16, Jimmy?
Yeah,
you will be in
Jimmy.
Baltimore. You will be in Baltimore for Patriots Ravens.
It's amateur hour over here, Jimmy. You
Tell
don't
me
even
why.
know.
Tell me why.
Now you got to look at the Sunday night game. Are they going to flex that out and take that Baltimore game up to Sunday night?
I don't think they're going to flex it out. If the Dolphins beat the Steelers this week, they definitely won't flex it out because what they usually, the excuse they give me with the flexing,
you got to decide now.
No,
they're not going to flex. They won't flex it out.
It's happening in real time.
They won't flex it because the argument they usually give to me about flexing is they don't want to flex if one team is still in the playoff hunt. So Miami, you could make the argument, is still in the playoff hunt. So that's why I don't think they will flex that.
We're hoping. I mean, I'm with you. I would that game is.
Let me ask you this question: who's more in the playoff hunt, Miami or Baltimore right now?
That's a legitimate journalism question there.
Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I am looking at that late window game, 4:25 on Sunday. Lions at Rams. Points aplenty. So I'm going to go higher on touchdowns for the quarterbacks. Matt Stafford for the Rams, Jared Goff for the Lions, higher on touchdown passes for both QBs in that Lions-Rams game. Download the app today and use promo code Sports Illustrated to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sports Illustrated. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
I was going to ask you, you told me you were going to cut your hair in the offseason and you didn't. Is that a legitimate journalism?
It's got to get trimmed down. It's getting hard to tame.
You told me that in August. That you were going to do that.
I like having it longer. I have not quite figured out how to handle it. Ian sees it on game day. When I put the headset on, it's a mess.
You had a battle with the headset 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago
at halftime, like I've never seen before. And JJ's talking to himself at this point as we're getting ready for the halftime hit. He put the headset on. He's like, "Looks terrible. It's terrible."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's going on?" And then he angles the headset back, trying to form it. And
I was in a blender, man. I was in a blender.
On our screen where you can hit the button and you could see yourself on camera. And our guy, Jose, in the booth, who's the best. And JJ's like, "Jose, hit the button, man. I got to see it." So
you guys probably will hate me for saying this, but given all this stuff that's going on behind the scenes, like I can't understand how CBS is not filming you guys 24/7 and putting all this shit on social, because this stuff will go viral JJ fighting with his headset, Ian ripping a hot dog in half. Like, can we get this on the CBS Twitter account?
Yes.
I mean, really?
They want it. They want it.
I mean,
Jimmy, we have put the licensing fees so high on that they can't they can't bring it in.
I know you guys got to run, but I can't end this without talking to JJ about this for 1 minute. So you have YouTube TV, am I correct? From what I saw.
Yes.
Now, why don't you have cable? Why don't you have cable with DirecTV?
Yeah, Jimmy, you're asking 600 level questions to a 100 level man here. All right, I want the quad box. I want to be able to watch a few games at one time. I didn't even know cable still existed. I thought we got rid of that with the whole streaming situation. Somebody told me to put a antenna on my roof and attach it to my television. Like I'm gonna wire shit through my house here. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. bought the one that was the simplest and easiest for me to figure out that I could watch the most amount of sports. I said, give me the best package, put it on my television. And then I lost all the Monday night games.
Do you still have cable?
I do not.
You have
I've made a
streaming too?
change.
Oh my
I
God,
moved. I moved. So that
Okay.
brought a change along. I was a cable user for the last 27 years in the same location, and that came to an end.
So you okay? Because I was like J.J. Watt. Not to get into your finances, but you could afford cable. Get cable.
Well, let's get into the
I
finance.
honestly don't know what that means. I don't know what cable. Let's get into
Okay, because most people
like
I'll tell
cable.
you
Like
what it means.
what was that back in the day? Like in Wisconsin, I had like Time Warner cable. What do you? I don't.
Yeah,
I, don't I,
that's cable.
Yeah. Like I have Verizon FiOS.
You
That's
can
what
still
should
get
have.
it.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
and then you'll
I
never
wouldn't
have to
know.
deal with this. But I got
What is
to
it faster? What is the deal?
Well, you don't have to deal with. Well, it is faster. It's not.
Yeah, but cable got split up for all the streaming, so I thought cable was dead. Yeah.
I ain't giving my number. Text me later. I'll explain it to you. Because you got to go. But wait, do you now? From what I've seen in your videos, you have one TV, correct? With your YouTube TV.
Not in my house. I have multiple televisions in my home.
Okay.
Oh no,
That's what I was
So
worried
we're all
about.
huddled around
It's
one.
not
TV.
a one TV household.
Well, I was very
but
yeah,
yes, but I do. I don't like multiple TVs. I have had the multiple TV setup before, and I found myself I can't focus, so I need just one.
I need to clip this and immediately send it to my good friend Kyle Brandt because he was on the pod a month ago, and Kyle will die on the hill of one TV only. And he's pissed off at people like me who have 3 TVs. And
Kyle and I are very synced on a lot. Kyle's brilliant, by the way.
No, I agree with that.
Incredible stuff.
I agree, but he should have more. You both should have more than one TV.
No, you can't watch. You can't. You're not watching everything. If you're watching 2 TVs, you're watching no TVs. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
All right. So let's say on Saturday, December 20th, there's a college football playoff and an NFL game. How do you watch that?
I'm watching the NFL.
Okay, but if you have 2 TVs, you can.
Yeah, but you can do the quad box, no?
You can,
YouTube,
yes.
you can. Yeah,
if you want to do the quad box, you can do the quad box.
So
yes.
why is the quad box different than multiple TVs?
It's not. If the games are good enough, I'll put it on because I need to check them out. But most of the time, I am watching a single game.
J.J. Watt should have 400-inch TVs on his wall.
It doesn't matter how big they are. You still can't focus on more than one at a time. So you're still looking at one. I personally would rather watch a series on one, flip over to the other game during the commercial and watch that series than be doing the.
Well, that's where cable actually would help you more.
I agree. I agree.
That transition would be smoother. That's
a bit
of the issue.
Yeah. When people say that, it blows my mind. I have very few skills in life. Like you could count them on one hand, and one of them is being able to watch multiple games at once. So, all right. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I've enjoyed you guys thoroughly, as have most of the. To get positive fan reaction in 2025 is just probably the hardest thing to do. So, congratulations to you both on that.
Appreciate
Bills
it.
Patriots this Sunday. Patriots Ravens in Week 16, I believe, and then. Hopefully you guys will come back on again, next season. I'll be on regularly. He's Charles Grodin, and hopefully JJ, this wasn't too painful, and you'll come back.
I appreciate it, Jimmy. You've always been good to me. I'm very thankful, and you've said nice things about our broadcast. Our whole team deserves the praise, so we're very thankful for everybody who watches.
All right, appreciate you guys coming on. Be well.
Thank you. See ya.
I won't touch you, JJ. I know that.